Anytime.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this evening's night of Bardic Circle, where you see what happens when I press two baritones into my service. Tonight we are doing music and song, all sorts of great goodies for you. We're doing some folk music, a little blues perhaps, and some parodies. I have promised you the old-time religion pagan edition. You've been waiting for it. And we'll get to that later on tonight. But I think this evening you wanted to start us off with a song.
I can start you off with my favorite Irish traditional song. Unfortunately, I used to have it completely memorized, but as you can see I don't. I do have the tune and everything memorized, so that'll at least be part of the goodness here. The reason I like this song so much is every time we had the big Irish family reunion, we'd have a hired traditional Irish band that would play us songs like what's it, Molly Malone. Cockles and mussels alive, alive, oh. But we're not singing Molly Malone. I'm singing you the great Wild Rover, my favorite song, about a man who ran away for a bit, was a drunkard, and spent all his money, but came back and decides to make up for everything, right?
Sounds like a familiar story.
Shut up. But no. Now we're doing this without recorded music. You just have to tolerate our wonderful a cappella.
But this is how it was done back in the old days when people sat around the fire.
Our fire. But anyway, why don't we begin?
All right.
Well, I've been the wild rover for many's the year, and I've spent all me money on whiskey and beer. But now I'm returning with gold in great store, and I never will play the wild rover no more. And it's no, nay, never, no, nay, never, no more, for I played the wild rover, no, never, no more. I went into an alehouse I used to frequent, and I told the landlady me money was spent. I asked her for credit, she answered me nay. Such a custom like yours I can have any day. And it's no, nay, never, 1, 2, 3, 4, no, nay, never, no more, for I've played the wild rover, no, never, no more. I took up from me pocket 10 sovereigns bright, and the landlady's eyes opened wide with delight. She says, I have whiskies and wines and the best, and the words that you told me were only in jest. And it's no, nay, never, 1, 2, 3, 4, no, nay, never, no more, for I'll play the wild rover, no, never, no more. I'll go home to me parents, confess what I've done, and I'll ask them to pardon me prodigal son. And when they've caressed me as oft times before, I never will play the wild rover no more. And it's no, nay, never, 1, 2, 3, 4, no, nay, never, no more, for I've played the wild rover, no, never, no more. There you go. My favourite Irish song, lads and lasses.
And now we're going to head over to another part of the British Isles, to Scotland.
Well, he's from Ireland. I'm from Scotland. My family, on my mother's side is the Clan McElroy, which means of the kings. So I've got a lot of pride of my Scottish heritage, and I thought I'd sing a song that many of you might already well know. It's been covered by Celtic Women, Celtic Thunder. Dougie MacLean by far did the most famous version of it. This is Caledonia. I don't know if you can see these changes that have come over me in these last few days. I've been afraid that I might drift away. I've been telling stories, singing songs that make me think about where I've come from, and that's the reason why I seem so far away today. Let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Caledonia's been calling me, now I'm going home. And if I should become a stranger, know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. Oh, I have moved, and I've kept on moving, proved the points that I needed proving, lost the friends that I needed losing, found others on the way. I have kissed the girls and left them crying, stolen dreams, yes, there's no denying. I've travelled hard, sometimes with conscience flying, somewhere in the wind. Let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Caledonia's been calling me, now I'm going home. And if I should become a stranger, know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. Now I'm sitting here before the fire, the empty room, the forest choir, the flames have cooled, don't get any higher. They've withered now, they're gone. But I'm steady thinking, my way's clear, and I know what I will do tomorrow. When hands have shaken, the kisses flowed, I will drift away. Oh, and let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Caledonia's been calling me, and now I'm going home. And if I should become a stranger, know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. Oh, Caledonia's been everything I've ever had.
I've actually never heard that song all the way through.
No, never.
No, not all the way through. I've heard the chorus several times,
Mm.
but so that's Scottish.
That's a Scottish song. Caledonia is an archaic name for Scotland.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's how that goes. And
So, you know, it is very true that way back when, and even fairly recently, there's a very popular idea of just sitting in front of the campfire, not necessarily having an instrument, and just singing.
Yeah.
Just singing. I don't know if you'll let me take the liberty to share with you some Delta blues.
Go ahead.
That is actually no instrument need be in this particular song. Now, it has a bit of a religious bent, but you can kind of mess around with it a little bit. It's because this is what really Delta blues. I don't know if you've heard of Son House. He's called the father of the Delta blues, and he wrote this one song called John the Revelator. And in 1939, I believe, it was actually filmed. Just got up on stage and so he just starts clapping. And this is all he had to do, was to clap. He started singing. Tell me who's that writing? John the Revelator. Tell me who's that writing? John the Revelator. Tell me who's that writing? John the Revelator wrote the book of the seven seals. He said God came down one faithful day and he called me by his name. And I ran away right behind a bush 'cause I was naked and ashamed. I said, now tell me who's that writing? John the Revelator. Tell me who's that writing? John the Revelator. Tell me who's that writing? John the Revelator wrote the book of the seven seals. He said, John, what are you doing? I need you to do something right for me. Write a book for me. Tell my people they come on down me to pray. I said, tell me who's that writing? John the Revelator. Tell me who's that writing? John the Revelator. Tell me who's that writing? John the Revelator wrote the book of the seven seals. So John wiped off his knees and he came up to the shore. And he said, well, I'm going to write this book and you don't need to worry no more. Oh, tell me now, who's that writing? Down the river, lady, tell me who's that riding? Down the river, lady, tell me who's that riding? Down the river, lady, wrote the book of the seven seals. And you know, the funny thing about his songs is that everything could be improv. He just make up the story as you go along. That's all.
So I'm going to pause to send somebody who knows what he's doing over to the camera to make sure everything is still working.
I can make sure everything's still working. Not a problem. Well, we got some good three viewers here.
Oh, well. That's great. And we're going to take, at the end, as usual, we're going to take some stories from our viewers. And we will have 2 trained actors tonight to act out any stories that you want to tell.
Within certain limits.
Within certain limits. I'm a bit amused as to what those limits might be. So, we've got a song next, Robin and I, that is very near and dear to our hearts. We spend a lot of time commuting back and forth from different backwoods parts of Massachusetts, and we tend to need to keep ourselves busy in the car, so there was one 3-hour car ride that we spent seeing, we managed to get through all of Les Mis.
Yep, that was an accomplishment.
That was an accomplishment. Another favorite, though, is the band Fairport Convention.
Fairport Convention is a British sort of folk rock group blending English folk traditions with kind of a modern rock and roll feel. Probably they're most famous for songs such as Fotheringay, Meat on the Ledge, and this one, which is a traditional English tune called 17 Come Sunday, and it tells the story of a young rogue who rides out one morning and meets this girl on the way. Careful there.
Couch surfing.
As I was up one May morning so early, I overtook a pretty fair maid just as the sun was a-dawning with a roo-rum day, for little day, whack for lay diddle I do. Her boots were white, her stockings bright, her buckles shone like silver. She had a dark and roving eye, and her hair hung down her shoulder with a roo-rum day, for little day, whack for lay diddle I do. Where are you going, my pretty fair maid? Where do you go, my honey? She answered me right cheerfully,
I've an errand for me, mommy.
with a roo-rum day, for the little day, whack for lay diddle I do. And how old are you, my pretty fair maid? How old are you, my honey? She answered me right cheerfully,
I'm 17 come Sunday,
with a roo-rum day, for the little day, whack for lay diddle I do. And will you take a man, my pretty fair maid? Will you take a man, my honey? She answered me right cheerfully,
I'd never fool me, mommy.
with a do-rum day, for the little day, whack for lay diddle I do. But if you come round to my mummy's house when the moon shines shining clearly, I will come down and let you in, and my mammy shall not hear me, with a roo-rum day, for the little day, whack for lay diddle I do. So I went down to her mummy's house when the moon had shone so clearly. She came down and she let me in, and I lay in her arms till the morning, with a roo-rum day, for the little day, whack for lay diddle I do. So now I have my soldier man, and his ways they are quite winning. The drum and the fife are my delight, and a pint of rum in the morning, with a roo-rum day, for the little day, whack for lay diddle I, roo-rum day, for the little day, whack for lay diddle I, roo-rum day, for the little day, whack for lay diddle I do. And that's 17 Come Sunday, ladies and gentlemen.
Alright.
Yet another song I've never heard before in my entire life.
Well, see, if you like what you hear, I can give you a lot of the Fairport Convention discography. They're a great group. They spun off Sandy Denny, the lead singer, sort of did her own thing for a while. She died very tragically young. But they're a very good. Steel Ice Band is also sort of in the same vein. But I don't have anything from them. Sorry.
But I was going to mention something about. Oh yes,
Of course, people out in the chat room out there are really enjoying everything that we've done so far.
Great, fantastic.
They say that we're all filled with talent. I'd like to see Young Witches CD. Maybe there'll be one in the making. Who knows? But thank you very much for tuning in with us as well. So far, there is more to come, as you can hopefully see. And we thank you very much for those wonderful compliments, and hope you will continue to enjoy it.
So we are going to get out, if you want to grab one of the sheets, we are going to do the pagan version of Old Time Religion. Now I got a couple of stories to go with this. The first would be the Salem Witches Ball.
Ah, yes!
Salem Witches Ball, which was supposed to be filmed. It was filmed, it did not live stream, there were technical difficulties, if any of you remember that night. But I had the delight of sitting in on a couple of concerts that night. One of the performers was Jenna Green and her husband, and they performed the a couple of verses. This is when I first heard of the song. They did about, let's say 8 or 9 verses. Which is a lot for a song. And then I found out later on, there are more. There are lots more. There are several thousand verses of the pagan old-time religion, or real old-time religion, it's sometimes called. And if you Google them, you will find a great page that has them cataloged by religion and everything. There was one for every single deity and religion and school of thought out
And
there.
actual pagan persons.
And actual pagan persons. There are a couple of
I know there's one about Oberon Zell.
It was back when he was called Tim Zell, so
Yeah.
that's how long ago these were written. Funny enough, I found out a lot of these were written in the back of Phaedra Bonowitz's microbus. Back before she was Phaedra Bonowitz.
She was just Phaedra Hyman.
Phaedra Hyman. And it was just a way to pass the time, driving back and forth from conventions and things like that. And yeah, so there is one for just about every group. And we're going to share some of them tonight. We're going to start off.
Maybe more than I have.
Yeah, you might have to look on with me because... Oh, do you have the extended version?
I don't have the extended
Oh, there's the extended
All
version
right.
for you.
But Lexi has been famous for saying Hail Freya. She's been saying Hail Freya all week. So we're starting off with Freya.
How do we want to do this? Do we want to just trade off in threes, or...
Just sing them. You can look on with me. Alright, ready? 1, 2, 3. We'll start off with the first one. Give me that old-time religion. Give me that
old-time religion. Give me that old-time religion.
It's good enough for me.
Give a hand to darling Freya. There's no need to ask her Maya. For a necklace she will lay ya, and that's good enough for me. Give me that old-time religion. Give me that old-time religion. Give me that old-time religion. It's good enough for me.
Moving right through the maidens to Aphrodite.
Of course. We will worship Aphrodite. We will worship Aphrodite. Because we've seen her in her nightie, and that's good enough for me. Let's go ahead.
Greek pantheon, Zeus.
We will go to worship Zeus, though his morals are quite loose. He gave the lady quite a goose, and he's good enough for me. Give me that old-time religion. Give me that old-time religion. Give me that old-time religion. It's good enough for me. I'm going to throw a wrench in everything. We will sing a verse for Loki. We're the old earth god of chaos, which is why this verse doesn't rhyme or scan or nothing.
Anything like that.
That's good enough for me. Give me that old-time religion. Give me that old-time religion. Give me that old-time religion. It's good enough for me.
Pennies now.
Oh dear. Let us read works of Confucius as we walk through Massachusetts in white robes that freeze our tuchus.
Tuchus?
I don't know.
But
it's good enough for me. Give me that old-time religion. Give me that old-time religion. Give me that old-time religion. It's good enough for me.
That was Northeast.
Yes. We will sing a verse for Eris.
Oh, Eris.
Eris.
Golden apples for the fairest.
Eris is messing us up.
Sometimes likes to scare us, but she's good enough for me. Give me that old-time religion. Give me that old-time religion. Give me that old-time religion. It's good enough for me. I have to
go in with this one. We'll bow down and worship Cthulhu. Don't let elder gods priest Bulu. With the stars right he shall rule you, and you'll gibber and flap with me. Oh, give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion. It's good enough for me.
So Pastafarians, flying spaghetti monster, maybe a doodle, and a god who looks like Foodle.
Sure know how to use his noodle to make mountain midget tree. Well, give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion. It's good enough for me. We will pray to the god Shiva, the one with many sleevers, who destroys all disbelievers. He's good enough for me. Give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion. It's good enough for me.
For the conspiracy
For my
theorists.
friends out in Nevada, in the sky I hear a humming. It's the UFOs a coming. It's not banjos they're strumming, but it's good enough for me.
Give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion. It's good enough for me. Bring it home now. We are the children of the goddess, and the horned one begot us, and with love the craft they taught us, and that's good enough for me. Give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion. It's good enough for me.
One more time with the tambourine.
Oh, gosh.
Or not. They did not tie the tambourine on me.
Oh,
Maybe they should have.
Give me that
old-time religion, give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion. It's good enough for me.
All right, guys.
Did lose some harmonies there, but
Yeah, well, you know, it was impromptu and slightly impromptu.
sing around the fire. Don't have to be perfect.
No, you don't. You don't have to be perfect singing around the fire.
So we hope you guys enjoyed this evening's Bardic Circle.
Are we done already?
We're done already.
Oh dear.
I don't know. Did you want to throw one in to take us home?
No.
No, he doesn't.
No, but I would like to share a little story though.
All right, let's
from
hear
my
a story.
favorite- Well, it's not really a story. It's more.
And we need to hear stories from the audience.
Yeah, that's
too,
true.
as well,
So you
so-
get in the big kid chair.
All right.
And I'll get ready to read the audience's
I
stories.
will. My favorite folk singer, believe it or not, I don't know how many people have heard of him out there, but his name is Harry Chapin, and Harry Chapin also died rather young, also, but not too young, old enough to have a wonderful career. But he has this story, which he actually, or a bit called My Grandfather, and he's talking about his grandfather. And he said, well, you know, my grandfather was a hard worker for his entire life. And he said there were two things out there. And those two things are good tired and bad tired. Now, you might have had a day when you either won or you lost. And sometimes when you have really won, it seems like you've lost, because you might not have met your quota, or you might not have managed to get that presentation done the right way, but you actually tried really hard, and you tried to get your point across. You tried to do things that would help benefit you in a good way, and you become tired. But it's good tired, because what you're trying to do is go throughout your day working for the things that you believe in. Because sometimes there'll be a day that you won, but you actually lost. Because somebody comes and said, listen, I need this done, and you get it done. And somebody else will come around, listen, I need this done, and you get it done for them, but you don't tend to pay attention to what you need to do for yourself. So you've actually lost. That brings us back to what's the definition of good tired and bad tired. Well, sometimes you come home from a day of work and that's just it. You've been saying, listen, I need this done. Okay, I'll do it. Listen, I need this done. Okay, I'll do it. And you get tired. Well, that's bad tired, because you didn't get what you needed to do
finish. You didn't progress your life at all. That's bad tired. But sometimes you can be good tired after you lost, because you're pushing through your story and what it said in your heart. So as long as what you're working for in your heart is what you're actually working for, then you're good tired. And he said, well, then my grandfather wrapped up and he said to me, Harry, I'm good tired because I've been working my life with stuff that I wanted to do. I finally left my job and I started to do art, and look where I am now. So I'm good tired. So I think the goal in life is to be good tired and be aware of when you're bad tired. That's Harry Chapin right there.
That was beautiful, thank you.
Alright, so it looks like we don't have any takers from the internet. You two are not off the hook.
Oh no! What do we have to do?
You guys are going to act out a story of mine from the horror days when I worked at an unnamed pet store. I cannot name the name of this pet store because they made me sign a social media clause in my contract when I worked for them.
No
And I
kidding.
cannot reveal anything that has to do with them in public in case, it should embarrass them or, end up in a lawsuit or just sound silly.
With apologies to George Lucas, I have a bad feeling about this.
So if you two would not mind standing up.
Hold on, let's see. Have our heads been cut off?
I can't see video on this.
Mine's still
Oh,
there.
wait, in the bottom corner. Yeah, I'd back up a bit, Robin. You're out of the picture. All right, we're good?
Hold on,
There we go.
hold on. Let's see.
There we
Are
go.
we? Are we good?
We're good.
Are we good?
All right. Now, you do a lot of disgusting jobs when you work at unnamed, non-disclosed pet store.
Hold it.
For example, if a customer's pet lacks self-control, that's your job. Clean that up.
Is this a...
You can start acting this out anytime you want.
Is this a vicious improv game?
This is a vicious improv game, boys.
So who's paying on the floor? You were.
Pet,
Did you hear that?
designated pet, designated employer.
Designated pet. Really?
I have to clean it up. I don't know what you're complaining about.
So,
Do you see what they make me do? You
sometimes
dirty
you get
rat.
the very old, usually it ends up being the oldest, most incontinent dog in the place.
See, oldest. You know what they do to me? Oldest. It's a friggin' oldest is what I am.
So, that dog will not just go. You will like.
You mean go?
Go.
The dog will go.
Not just go in one place,
But,
but leave a trail.
and in
There are
I don't know.
treasure hunts. Leave little treasure hunts for me all around the store.
And then they will pleasantly sit down and go, there's nothing wrong.
Yes.
Don't
So
give me
I did that
You left
job.
the trail throughout the store. It's like
did that-
Blue's Clues with urine. Oh.
So I've done that job, and I've made it through.
I'm just jumping around now.
I have gone and I have cleaned out the mice tanks.
I'm not being an incontinent little mouse. I'm sorry, that's where I draw the line. Excuse me, you may want to do my Jack Benny impersonation. Rochester, seriously, don't bother me when I'm in the middle of the show.
I just got bit by a mouse.
And then the day came when I was asked to pull the dead fish.
Alright, off you go then. Really, isn't it?
And even
See what
that,
they do to me? This is awful.
Even that wasn't terribly bad, because I had pet fish of my own. And I just assumed that we flushed the dead fish.
Well,
And
I think this horrible story
it gets worse.
Oh,
It gets
no.
worse.
does
Nah,
it involve incontinent great whites.
Now you're glad you're the pet.
I had
stick
all
my
of the
hand
dead
in the
fish.
tarantula cage. There were hundreds of them.
Oh, I'll save the time the tarantula got used for another week.
Oh.
Of course. See,
So
she could bring a real
anyways.
one and scare the crap out of me.
So anyways, I had the bag of dead fish. I had the bag of dead fish.
Sorry.
And I came to my
Your
manager.
harps.
And I said, hey,
Hey!
so,
So,
what do I do with these?
what do I do with these?
Excuse me, shall I now revert to the manager?
Sorry I held you by the hair there, I was just a little panicked.
You're fired. What did your manager say?
Oh, those go in the freezer.
Oh, well, you see, we put them in the freezer for later. That's going to be your lunch.
You see, the freezer was where we kept all of the dead pets, not just fish.
You see, the freezer, though. Gonna love this one. The freezer. Have you ever worked for a mortuary?
No.
Have fun. Because we
Yeah.
keep everything in that there freezer.
So
I know our plumbing is going to be big.
So I went to the back room, and the freezer. You don't need to get that close. I doubt they can see you. And the freezer was locked. I needed a key to open it,
I need a key to open that.
in case apparently something wasn't dead and tried to get out.
Oh, I didn't think of that. Bag of fish! Bag of fish! Bag of fish! Oh god, I should have frozen them first. Right.
So I
Man,
opened.
that really was awful. I just have a hangover.
I opened the freezer, and there are mounds and mounds of dead fish, and who knows what lying beneath those dead fish.
It's like Deadliest Catch for betas.
Come play with us. Come.
I can't right now, I'm putting dead fish in the freezer.
So I very quickly threw them in there, locked it up, because I swear to God I saw something move. But I collected myself. I was calm. I gave the key back to my manager, and I said, so what happens to those fish?
So what happens to those fish?
And the manager said,
What did the manager say?
oh, we wait until the crematorium comes.
You see, we have this guy that comes, and we fry him all up.
And
Simple
that's
as that. Now that's what happens at a pet store. Don't work at a pet store. You warned.
Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the Bardic Circle tonight. I'm Melissa,
I'm Robin.
I'm Alfred.
and we hope you had a great night, and we'll see you next week. Give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion. It's good enough for me.
2 bits.